Hello and welcome to the grand episode of Talk and Beyond. I cannot contain my excitement because this is the 10th episode and this will keep you glued as we have the most awaited segment that's been covered today. And when I have such fabulous fan following of sports, I'm going to have not one but two sports stars on my show today who have achieved many milestones in diverse but related fields they operate in. Let me quickly introduce you to our first guest of the day. He's a bowling all-rounder and has had an astounding five-wicket haul twice consecutively in the Karnataka Ranji Trophy. A humble, determined and focused cricketer who has been a part of Indian cricket team, Rajasthan Royals, Mumbai Indians and Karnataka Premier League. Welcoming Gautam Krishnappa to the show. Many thanks for joining us, Gautam. How are you doing today?
Hi, thanks for having me on the show, Priyanka. Yeah, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fabulous. Okay, moving.
Thank you for having me.
Next guest today, who is a sports entrepreneur and is an inspiration to sports enthusiasts. He has donned the hats of a coach, a co-founder of Five Stride Football Arena, co-founder of three badminton arenas, and the founder of Vultures Cricket Club. Interestingly, Gautam and Rahul are friends from the early days and have been playing together. Let's unravel the fun element of this sportsmanship. Welcoming Rahul to the show. Hi Rahul, how are you?
Hi Priyanka, hi Gautam. Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Super. Okay, let's see some more excitement from both of you and let's quickly dive into the questions. First of all, Gautam, good things come to those who work hard, but better things come to those who hustle. And you are the true example of this saying. Take us back to 2012 where you opened in the first class league to the gear shift that happened in 2016 and 2017, which transformed your career, also called as the IPL. How was it sharing the dressing rooms with the stars that you admired both nationally and internationally?
Yeah, first and foremost, in 2012, I was a part of the Ranji team. I made my T20 debut, as every cricketer aspires, playing state cricket and going ahead and playing for the Karnataka side. And playing for Karnataka itself is a pride. Being a part of a Ranji team is a pride. It's not very easy to play for a Karnataka Ranji Trophy team. That is, I would say, that is an achievement by itself. And there were a lot of ups and downs. But at the same time, I learned quite a lot of things. Looking at my seniors, the work ethics, what they had, and how they conducted themselves during a game and how they approached the game. After that, I was not a part of Ranji team for a while, but it actually motivated me to get better mentally, physically, and whatever in aspects it's possible. Especially mental aspect, it helped me a lot. It made me understand the game better. It made me understand what are the potentials I have and what is that I can give it to the team and stuff. So yeah, coming back, making a comeback in 16-17, where I made a comeback against Jharkhand. We were playing a match in Noida. I got a 3-wicket haul in the game. That was I would say that is where it all started. And the next game was against Delhi in Eden Garden. There I got a 5-4. From there on, from there, next game was again in Mumbai against Assam. There I got a 6 or 7 wicket haul. From there on, I never thought. From where I started, from there on, it went on well, and it's been a good journey as of now. But yeah, talking about IPLs, I was aspiring to be a part of IPL team from the start of the IPL. When it came, when it came in 2017, where I was a part of Mumbai Indians, and being a part of Mumbai Indians is something which, rubbing shoulders against a lot of legends out there. We had Sachin Paji, we had Harbhajan Singh, my idol, and we had Pollard, Rohit. Name the legends, and everyone were out there, trying to help each other out to get the best out of them. So yeah, it's been quite a bit of a journey, and IPL has taught a lot of things as well. The way the internationals look at the IPL sector, the way they go into the game, the way they actually organize themselves, and how they start planning for a particular game on what kind of a surface you are playing on. There's so many things talking about in a cricketer aspect. I guess I've learned quite a bit there. And it was fun also winning the trophy there. So yeah, I was a part of 2017 IPL winning team. So being a part of IPL winning team for the first year of your IPL, I guess that's like you can't ask for more.
Absolutely.
So yeah, like it's been a great journey.
Something that doesn't break you makes you only stronger. And the comeback also proves that, everything that you take back from the failures gives you a much stronger base to rise up and shine. And that's fabulous. Moving on to Rahul. You've played sports yourself and you know Gautam from the early days. Do tell us how similar or different is every budding cricketer's regime. Take us through the early days of growing up as, two 12-year-olds playing cricket in Bangalore.
I think as children, when we play, we don't really think much of competition and playing at a high level and all of that. So I think I can talk on his behalf as well. When we started, we just played for the fun of it in the beginning, at least. So it was more of just having fun and just going out there and spending some time with your friends and all of that. So as we grew older, and again for him, it obviously became a career and he started doing really well. So the importance of regime becomes really important. And I can say they're similar and different for cricketers right now. Similar because the overall discipline that you need to showcase to take it to the next level in terms of your physical aspect, mental skill aspect, all of that almost remains the same for every cricketer because they need to put in those hours irrespective of what they want to do. And different slightly in a manner because individually obviously you have certain preferences. Some things work for you that don't work for the other one. So looking at it from the broader perspective, it's the same, but then again individually slightly there are small changes that happen in terms of the regime when you start playing professionally. I think today's generation there's a lot more guidance and a lot more information out there. Obviously with more information, more coaches, more knowledge being distributed, you start getting into a more systematic manner at a younger age than I think what we did. Because even for me, even though I don't play very professionally, for me to get into a regime and a discipline happened after I turned 25, which is obviously very late. But then for people who've started cricket now, even the 12, 13, 14-year-olds now have access to the best of information, have knowledge being given to them by the experts and all of that. So it's a really good thing that they start learning about themselves at an early age. So I would definitely say like 10 years down the line and today, there's a lot of difference in terms of what kids did then and what they do now. And it's only going in a better direction. So
Yeah, so now they're more informed, now they're more disciplined, now they're more focused, and now they actually know at a very tender age what they want to do. And it's fabulous how they actually develop such skills because earlier we did not know cricketer could be a profession in itself, right?
absolutely.
Super. Okay, moving on to Gotham again. IPL is the most loved tournament of the country. With the current situation, how do you see the game of cricket evolve? Are we going to see our first ever closed door tournament?
I guess, IPL is the most watched tournament in the world as well, and the richest league, you can say, because we have all the international flowing in from all over the world, and coming and talking about there's everything at stake to play at, where it's a franchise cricket happening. It's a stage where you can show your talent and you can show that you belong to a bigger stage. Where you can actually go out there and express yourself and show that you are made to play a highest level of cricket for your country or whatever, however it is, But not everyone gets an opportunity to represent the country. But IPL is a platform where it's giving you that much of an exposure to go out there and showcase that you actually have that kind of a caliber to go and play the highest level of cricket.
Correct.
There's one, and moving forward, talking about IPL closed doors, I guess somewhere we might be missing that glitz and glamour and all the crowd chanting and shouting around, and that itself is what a cricketer plays for. I would say that is where the pressure is there all throughout. When you're playing a match, but at the same time when there is a crowd pressure, that's a different kind of pressure where you start enjoying it. You start doing well. When there is no one around, I guess you will be lost in your own self.
Correct.
You need to So hopefully we before the tournament starts, there is some kind of a vaccine which helps, and at least we have a social distancing and a little bit of crowd comes in, so that there is a little bit of fun also out there.
Well, it starts very soon. So do you really think it can be possible?
See, I think as of now there is a confirmation about the tournament, but yeah, nothing about the crowd coming in and stuff. But hopefully, there might be a little bit of say about 25 to 50% of the capacity coming in. That's what I've heard about. I'm not too sure, is it going to be possible or no? But yeah, they can have a little bit of a social distancing kind of a thing, and hopefully we get a little bit of crowd. I am in for a crowd, so.
Isn't it happening in Dubai this year?
Right. It's we'll be flying to Dubai, say in 3rd or 4th week of August, and we start our preparation for the next 2 weeks, and then we head to the game.
Fabulous. But I'm sure you're going to be missing the Indian crowd, because that's the energy and that's the vibe that it gives you in the stadium when you're playing amongst thousands of people who are watching you, who are cheering you, and that's going to be something that's the motivating factor for a cricketer, right? When it's going to be so just like a closed door tournament where we see no engagement with the crowd, we see no cheering. It's going to be a very dull moment for sure. But do you think it will actually impact on the cricketers' performance as well?
First thing, no doubt, we'll miss the Indian crowd. The Indian crowd is crazy, and they love the game totally. They enjoy the game, and they make sure the people around also enjoy it, and especially when the player is inside, and they make sure they back him, or they're always behind you, good, bad, ugly, whatever it is, they are behind you. They are supporting you. They are ready to criticize you. It's fine. You have to take it in the right way. That is one thing. And yeah, as a professional cricketer, I would say it's a way how you buck up yourself, the way you pull yourself up, and the way you motivate yourself. Yeah, there are Ranji Trophy games which we not too many people are out there to watch you. That shouldn't be a problem for a cricketer. As a professional cricketer, I guess we are bound to. We have seen all those kinds. So I guess it is it's a way how definitely with the color clothing, it's a different thing. We'll be playing a league game kind of a feel. That's it, nothing more.
Yeah. So now this is the evolution we're gonna have. Rahul, you've trained multiple teams and at the extreme grassroots level of Karnataka. A sportsman is known for his high spirits. How do you think this COVID era or this situation would change the junior cricket?
Yeah, the last few months have been bad, I think, even for junior cricket. But more than coming out and actually playing some competitive cricket, I think the juniors are missing out on just going out and having fun. So, when we coach kids between the age of 8 to 12, generally, we are not really teaching the skill and the technique. We're just asking them to come out there, have fun, enjoy what they really like doing, and we try to get them back the next day. And that's what is motivating for us to see them come back every day. So that's definitely going to have a small impact in terms of them not being able to get out and stay indoors. But all of us, I think, are hoping that it all gets better at the earliest. So it'll take a few days probably after they're back as well for them to be free and open. But as coaches, I think we're already starting to prepare on how we can help combat that issue. So in terms of the number of matches they play, I don't think kids are missing out on too much, because sooner or later schools are going to start and camps are going to start. So probably a delay of 3-4 months, but overall in the entire year, I don't think the number of matches or the number of opportunities they get is going to decrease by too much. So I don't see too much of an impact. A little maybe, but I think as kids, they're not really going to be bothered too much about it. As soon as they're back, they're going to be full of energy and they're going to be raring to go again. So should be fine.
They'll be back with a bang. But I'm asking you specifically, do you have an online regime for them that you've been catering to so that they can follow at home?
Yeah, so I have 2 or 3 teams that I coach. One of them is at the 13-14 age category. The other ones are more of teenagers. So we've had regular weekly calls where we're trying to just engage and see what people are up to and what different kind of skills they're acquiring and all of that. So as you get older, for the teenagers, we're more focusing on a few mental skills and preparation that can be done at home and getting some muscle memory. Cricketers and sportsmen will understand the importance of that. So getting in some muscle memory so that it becomes an involuntary movement when you go out to play and making it a habit. So that's what we've been working on. And the mental aspect, as Baji said a little while back, has been very important for a lot of cricketers. So we start training that even in teenagers. So I've actually been busy, and the players that I coach in the teams have been busy with this for the last 3-4 months. So we've had a good time. We've had sessions with games. We've had challenge mental games and a lot of other things, and obviously a few skill sets that people can practice at home. But with the junior kids, with the 12, 13-year-olds, it's just been trying to talk to their parents and seeing what the kids are up to and whether they're having fun, whether they're doing their basic stuff at home. So that's about it. And as of now, it's a good thing that most kids have been doing some form of cricket at home, or any sport for that matter, the small ones. They're finding ways, like we found ways to keep ourselves engaged during the lockdown. Kids as well have. So it's pretty surprising, but it's really nice. As I said, knowledge is in abundance now. So they've stepped up their game as well, and they've been doing a lot at home. So I've been impressed with that. So it's been good. It's been, again, a learning curve, something totally different for all of us. And I think the kids have stepped up more than us. So yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, they are the fastest learner, and I think they are going to be the next stars because they are evolving so much faster than anybody else right now. This is fabulous. I'm glad that you're catering to the mental wellness as well, because that's what is important to keep their spirits high at this time.
Yeah.
Superb. Gautam, you are a bowling all-rounder in a batsman-friendly country. We all have read about the saliva ban. Let me ask you a dumb question first. What is the use of saliva, and what does shining the cherry mean as a bowler?
When it comes to the new ball, the new cherry. So cherry is the ball, okay. So it's red in color, so that's why it's called a cherry. All right. So the new ball is shined with the thing because you can swing the ball, because a ball will be lighter. When you shine it, there will be a shine on the ball. So when the shine is the inside part, you keep inside. The other, like, it swings the outside. So basically, the other side will be lighter. So that's the reason it swings. Okay. And other thing of using saliva is when the ball becomes a little old.
Mm-hmm.
So you one side of the ball will be they'll use saliva and they'll make it heavy. So basically, once the ball is heavy, it starts reversing. So reverse swing is something when you it's like it's the opposite of the new ball. So it never swings the way what if the ball is inside and the bowler is releasing it. If the release is fine and your wrist position is fine, you can swing the ball whichever way you want to swing the ball as a bowler. Okay, so basically saliva is required, or some kind of sweat or some substance is required to swing, to heavy on the ball. You can't heavy the ball just like that, right? By shining or whatever, you need to put something on the ball to get the leather to get wet and to get heavy. So basically, that is the reason why you use saliva and shine the cherry.
Okay, what were the implications of this ban?
See, basically, they didn't want us to exchange our saliva and stuff. So what they're given as an option is we can use our sweat. Okay. So basically, I don't know how it's going to work unless we play the game and see how it goes. And England match, we could see there is not much of we couldn't see a huge swing and stuff happening in the game. But yeah, whatever the atmosphere and the pitch assisted, is that much only they could do.
So this is going to give a benefit to the batsman over the bowler, right?
It is going to be a little bit of beneficiary for a batsman, but yeah, I would say batsman is a one ball game, and as a bowler we got 6 chances to get the batsman out. So I would say it's a even Steven. I guess we have to look at things as a bowler. I would say I still have, if the batsman has hit me for 3 sixes and I still have a chance to get him out in next 3 balls. So I look at things in that way. Game. I think it's a gentleman's game, so it is even Steven for everyone.
Superb. And you've been very positive. All that I was conveying is the country, like India, is a very batsman friendly country where we idolize Sachin Tendulkar, Virat Kohli, and everybody else. Which is what I meant when I said that you are a bowler. Why did you choose bowling instead of batting?
Yeah, you shouldn't be taking an easy route out, right? You should fight it out, and that is where you win battles. That's how you win battles. Let it be like in your mind or you're playing a match or whatever. You need to go out there with a harder. When it's tough, it's like tough people actually survive in any kind of a situation. I think it's better to be that way. Like I would look at it in that way where it makes me tough in any angle in any aspect of my life.
But Harsha Bhogle rightly said that bowlers are the ones who get you the win, and it's very very right, because if bowlers are not very strong, I think there is a very high chance of losing the match, right?
Very true.
On a lighter note, Rahul, when was the first time you faced Gautam in a local division? Narrate us that incident when Gautam and you played against each other.
I don't remember the first time that I played him, but we've played each other a couple of times, I think. Obviously, he's got the better of me, so I don't think the narration is going to be very great. But yeah, it's been fun, healthy banter all the time, and yeah, I think 3-4 times we've played each other, and both the teams have had good games with each other. So yeah, I think about what happened in the match between me and him can stay as a secret. But no, yeah, just kidding. He obviously got the better of me. He did. He's of a much higher caliber, and he did really well. But whenever I played him, I think as a team also we've gained a lot in terms of learning from him, because whenever an IPL player plays against us, we take it as an opportunity. So we are a young side. We're a group of youngsters who look up to seniors, and it's really a learning opportunity. So it's been fun plus a lot of learning. So it's been great, I think, and I'm looking forward to more matches together, I think, in the future.
Is there a particular incident that you remember that happened when both of you were playing together?
All the incidents when he's gotten me out, so I don't think there's much to remember. No, but it's been fun. I mean, yeah, it's been good matches we've played.
You could not stand up against him ever?
No, I could, but not for too long. So.
So maybe 2 to 3 balls out of 6, right?
No, a little more than that, but yeah, it's nice. I think I've always looked up to it as a challenge more than anything. It's been fun. What
is the greatest learning that you actually had from the matches that you played with him?
I think the entire atmosphere that he brings to the ground in general is something that we all learn from, because for someone who's played at the highest level to come out there and play a league game, firstly, is a big thing in itself, because to be very honest with you, not many people do that. So to see him come out there and give his 100% is something that is very impressive, and it's actually something that every single individual that goes out there should learn from. So I think that attitude that you come into as soon as you wear those cricket clothes and you enter the line, irrespective of what match, what opponent, you give your 100% and respect the game. I think that's something we can learn from him, because he does that even in a club match. So yeah, so that's something that I've actually told my teammates as well to learn from him. And in terms of his cricket, of course, we have a lot of things to learn. The way he faces his game, he plays the game, the right spirit, the right attitude. I think it's a mix of everything. I think that's why he's reached that level. So yeah, so it's a lot of things that the bunch of us learn from him.
I'm sure he also brings a lot of positivity. So much of enthusiasm towards the cricket alone is absolutely fabulous. I think this is something a sportsman actually stands for.
And I think that's the only way to go forward, because we should always remember how much the game gives back to us. So the least that we can do is go with the right intent and stay positive. So I think that's something that all of us are learning to do right now, and we can always keep learning to do.
I cannot get enough of saying that both of you are two sportsmen, and this is the sportsmanship that actually derives everybody to follow all of you so madly. Moving on to Gautam, how does sport help you in building character? You know, being a part of varied teams, be it Indian team or the IPL teams and the state teams, it would have shaped you in multiple skills like the team building or leadership lessons and learning from failure and much more. Lead us through it. How has it evolved you?
Yeah, being a part of a lot of teams help you to understand help you to understand as an individual. You can learn a lot of things from each other. But at the same time, when we played our first Ranji Trophy match this year, and the last game of our T20 finals, it like it was like two different games, but we were playing for the pride of Karnataka and we were playing for the win. So basically, we all knew for the and the T20 finals. They needed about 13 runs. We were playing against Tamil Nadu. They needed about 13 runs, and I was bowling the last over. And the first two balls were two boundaries, so about 8 runs gone out there. So it was just 4 balls and 5 runs defending out there. See, it's about if I wasn't not if I had not played that game before in my head, or if it's not that I've not visualized about that game and this is how it's going to happen and what is the worst situation you can be in, what are the things you have to analyze all that. You need to think about it much before you deliver it. But eventually we won the game by 2 runs. So that's something which that was about T20 and Ranji Trophy. It was about in the last over of last third or fourth ball we won the game again, and it was again there. We played that 4-day game. It was a long process. Here, when we play a T20 game, we have to be we have to equip ourselves and we have to be mentally ready for that T20 challenge, where the game is faster. The game is the batsmen are coming after you. Any scoring ball you give, they score. They get a boundary out of it, or they score a big run out of it. Yeah, when it's a Ranji Trophy team, they take it a little time. They'll take in. They'll get themselves into the group. They go out there. They grind it out. They fight it out. But it's two different genre altogether. T20 and Test. It's completely different. But when it comes to cricket, I guess as a cricketer, your character, how good are you? How good are you to handle situations? How good are you to analyze the situation? How good are you to take good, bad, ugly? How good are you? It's just it's the same human. It's the same individual doing everything possible in his control. I don't think if it's you can't do things which are not in your control. For example, one simple thing what I follow is when you can solve a problem, you don't have to worry about it. When you cannot solve a problem, you don't have to worry about it, because worrying is
Nothing you can
just
do.
going to put more pressure on you.
Correct.
Instead of that, forget about worrying. If you know you can solve it, why to worry? Just go and solve it. When you know you cannot solve it, why to worry and spoil your head? It's some things which some few things what I follow in my life. These small things what I follow, which actually makes me feel good, because it's about going out there and doing what you love doing. It's not about you going out there to prove someone to someone that no, you're good. No, you don't have to prove anyone here that you're good or you are much better than another person. No, it's not that. It's about going out there to show yourself that you're good, to feel yourself that you're good, and to enjoy that you're good. So it's all about, that's how I look at things. I don't whenever people ask me to tell something about how what kind of thing we should do to get better on a regular basis, I only tell one thing: was you enjoy the game, you do whatever you do, you do 100%. Don't try and prove anyone anything here, because trying to prove anyone anything, it's only going to put you down, because you're not going to be loyal to yourself. You're just going to be doing what someone wants you to do. Instead of that, you do what you like doing. Yeah, right things, definitely. You can't say for example, if the coach asks you to bat for an hour, and you can't tell in 15 minutes I'm done. But there is a purpose behind coach telling you to do that much of a work, because your muscle has to get memorized. You have to understand that your body needs to, if you want to taste success, you need to sweat it out that many hours on the practice, on your fitness, on your whatever it is. So
Correct.
these are the things what makes a character of a cricketer, or a human for that matter. I would say, like, not only cricketers, everyone, if they can understand this simple things, I guess it will the life will be much more beautiful for them than trying to prove anyone anything. Just try and enjoy everything. So I would say that.
It's more so connected with the cricketer because we know that they are in a profession where they have to take care of themselves. They have to take care of their physical abilities, which is why they are more dedicated, and the rest of them are a little more lethargic. What happens is I'm actually gaining on to you've played with different teams. Tell me, how was the captaincy in different teams, like Virat Kohli for Indian cricket team? How was it batting or bowling under him? How was the pressure situation then?
See, basically, I bowled to him. As in, I played against him. I'm yet to get into the Indian team. I played India A games and stuff. I've been a part of India A team from past 3 years. But yeah, see, it's every individual how he looks at things. I would say, like, when a captain is asking you to contain, or yeah, definitely you can only do is, like, as a bowler, if he asks me to contain the match or control the match, I can do is, like, I can bowl those good balls in the good areas. It's not that I'm a machine or something. They ask me to bowl there and get me a wicket. It's not gonna happen. Let's be realistic. It's not the truth. The moment you bowl there, it doesn't mean that you're gonna get a wicket. Even the batsman is there out to play you only, right? Like, even he's doing his job right. And I would say, like, your process is in your control, your work ethics is in your control, and after the ball is delivered from your hand, I think nothing is in your control. After once you release the ball from your hand, it's over. It's all left to the batsman, whatever he wants to do. He wants to get out, or he wants to play you off, or he's gonna defend you. It's left to him after that. Only thing is, like, before bowling, you can you can actually plan what kind of a shot he has to play to this ball. That is what you can plan. And execution part, yeah, definitely, if you're confident enough, you will go out there and do whatever you can. But once the ball is out of your hand, it's over. No one can control that.
And what was the leadership like? Like, you've been in Indian cricket team and you've been in Mumbai Indians. How was it different having the international players in the team, and how was it different having only Indian players in the team?
See, basically, when it comes to leaderships, I guess every individual is different. Everyone will have their way of conducting the team. Everyone will have the same. Like, you cannot. All the 5 fingers are not the same. Every finger is different. Every person is
Correct. So,
completely different, and the way he expresses to the other person, it's different.
absolutely.
So basically, I would say, like, Virat is a more aggressive person. He goes out there with more aggression, and he always has that thing of, like, I'm going out there to win, only win, win, win. Definitely, yes. But when it comes to the country, he's more passionate. Let it be, like, let it be even the T20 one day or a test. He always plays it like, he puts his heart on his sleeve, and he goes out there to win a game every time out there. So I like, we can't talk too much about the leaderships about them, and let it be a IPL or whatever, because every individual is, like, he knows how to get the best out of the other person.
Correct.
If a captain understands you, I guess that makes it that much easier for the team to get the best out of that player.
How about Mumbai Indians?
I play, like, I was a part of Mumbai Indians when Rohit was captaining. See, I played under him and we won the tournament under him. See, he's a very calm kind of a person. It's like, two different poles. Like, he's very, very calm, and Virat is very, very aggressive. It's like, we can say it's totally drastic, like, opposites.
Yes.
But, like, when they're playing for the country, the only motivation and the only goal is to win the game for the country. That's it. Nothing less, nothing more. It's only one single goal they have, is the whole team has one single goal, is to win the cup or win the game. That's it. So when these kind of like-minded people come in together as it and then they form a team, the success rate is much higher than failures. Even though failures, you do bound to see failures, but at the same time you all stay together, you don't depart, you still be as a team, and you always help each other to get better and better every day.
Absolutely right. Moving on to Rahul, being a coach, what are the traits you look for in a 10 to 12-year-old cricket enthusiast? How do you nurture these young minds and shape them for a better tomorrow and, become a sports star? What are the evolving opportunities in the line of sports for a budding sports enthusiast in the near future?
10, 12-year-olds, we honestly don't look at too many traits and characteristics. As I told you, it's just about them coming out there and having fun more than anything else. So if a 10, 12-year-old comes to you and says he likes cricket and he wants to do something related to cricket, we just ensure that we can keep him engaged, keep him happy, and make him do what he really likes doing. Because I think when all of us were 10 and 12, all that mattered was doing something that is going to make you smile. So we just target that, and as coaches, the only thing that drives us and wants us to do better is if we can get those youngsters to keep coming to you, because 10, 12-year-olds actually are the challenge for you. So you're doing a good job, and it's a feedback for you if they want to come back to you the next day and to get coached. So in terms of characteristics, it's very, 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 very minimal, just for them to have fun. There's not much of technique, skill, mental, physical pressure when they're 10 and 12. And as you progress and as you mature a little more, and then we start adding these qualities one after the other. So I would say, 10, 12 is very basic. And then 14, 15, and then 18, 19, there are multiple things and external factors that come into play. And then we start tackling that differently as a coach based on their age and based on their potential. So, and in terms of,
What age do you start, characterizing them as someone who's serious in cricket and someone who can probably grow?
Again, it really depends. It's again very, very individualistic. So we see people who are 9 and 10 who are absolutely brilliant, who start playing for Karnataka under 14, 15 when they're 9 and 10. But we also see people, cricket is, I think, a game where a lot of people bloom a little late. So there's no really age that we cap it at. But once children are 14, 15, 9th, 10th standard, you know that they're really interested. You know that they're taking it forward as a career and all of that. So then based on, we look at how the player handles himself and the kind of interest that he has and the skill level that he has. And then we tackle it. I mean, we've had instances where the player is amazingly talented, but his interest levels are low. So that's something, again, that we need to, but then we obviously have to channelize. That's the role of the coach, but we do it. And on the other hand, we see someone who's really, really hardworking, but not very talented. But again, we have to channelize it. So we come across various kind of people, and at different ages. I mean, in the last 4 or 5 years of coaching, I've never seen two people alike. So I can really never generalize and give you an answer based on that. But it's very individualistic. We try and get the best out of the person, irrespective of the age and caliber. So we try to get the best out of him, basically.
Fabulous. So anybody who's interested can get inside your team and start coaching themselves to a better tomorrow, to a better sports star.
Of course. I think everyone starts the sport with some goal in mind. So you really can't decide who is going to make it big or no right in the beginning. You need to treat everyone equally and give everyone an equal opportunity at whatever age they come in. And that's what I believe in, and that's what I'm hoping to do as a coach.
Perfect. But you did not answer the second part of the question. What are the opportunities for budding sports enthusiasts in the near future?
Are you talking about playing cricket as a profession, or just
post-COVID era? What do we see as the most evolving professions or structure of jobs or opportunities, in fact, for the sport enthusiast?
In terms of sport enthusiasts, I think it's just going to be a few months of low sport, and after that everything's going to be back on track, because I think every single individual is waiting for sport, even if it is to watch or get involved or anything. And in terms of opportunities, there are plenty and more. I mean, I can go on and on in terms of the opportunities that are available for sport enthusiasts. Coach is just one aspect. Being a player is just another one aspect. But there are like 100 other things that you can do in terms of sport. Every single individual, for that matter, you can ask Baji as well. So, I mean, the number of people that are involved, even in a team, apart from the players, the support staff itself is like 10 or 12 people. So right there, you have 12 opportunities for a job. So, I mean, it really depends on your interest, from getting into sport related stuff like coaching, physiotherapy, psychology. That is one aspect. In terms of sport event management, there's another aspect. In terms of sports talent management, there's another aspect. And then you have journalism, commentary, umpires, scorers, referees. So, I mean, I can go on and on. So for someone who's really interested in sports, the opportunities are always going to be there. It's never going to go down. And this is just, I think, 4 or 5 months that is going to be a tough time for everyone. But once everything is back to normal and sports is on, the opportunities are going to be plenty and more. So there's nothing to really not look forward to, I think.
Absolutely wonderful. And this episode has actually been so positive. I'm sure I'm going to have a even more positive rapid fire round for both of you. Gautam, we start with you as usual.
Yeah.
Ready? Super. Okay. All you have to do is answer in one word or one line. You cannot give me an explanation about things unless I ask you. Okay? Done. Okay. Your go-to buddies in the Indian cricket team.
KL and Mayank.
Okay. Your favorite team as a player, Mumbai Indians or Rajasthan Royals?
RR.
Okay. Ranji Trophy, KPL or IPL, your favorite league?
Ranji Trophy.
Wow. A cricketer whom you were scared of in the initial days?
Not really.
No one? Okay, someone who intimidated you. Like someone who was very...
Someone?
Who probably made you work harder or had a pressure on you? Nobody. Too strong-headed, aren't you?
Yeah.
Your favorite coach till date?
My favorite coach, I would say Jack.
Okay. And he coached you in?
Ranji Trophy when I made my debut.
Wow. 3 players you thought were your biggest competition?
Myself.
Come on, you still have to compare yourself sometime to anyone.
I don't have to.
Okay.
I do have to prove it.
Right. You actually mentioned that you never ever prove it to anybody else other than yourself. But okay, let's give it another twist. 3 players whom you admired.
I would say MSD, Harbhajan Singh, and one is Jofra Archer because of his pace.
Wow. Okay. Your most memorable match and why?
Quite a lot of matches are there. I can't every time. Okay, one match I would say is very recently the Ranji Trophy one because it's fresh in my memory lane.
Okay. Give us an instance. What happened there?
That's why, I finished, I was married 2 days before. I had to travel the whole day to go for the match from here to Madurai. So I finished my wedding and after 1 day, I traveled to Madurai. And then winning a match and getting 2 fifers in the same game. First innings about 6 and the second innings I got about 8 wickets. And winning, more than my wickets, I would say, it was winning the match for the team, which was like ultimate. It gives me a thrill. So that's something which I love.
Yeah. So you already had a lady luck by your side.
Yeah, it's I would say she's my lucky charm all throughout. So yeah.
True. Absolutely. Okay. A superstitious you came to know after entering the Indian cricket team.
I don't I don't know about superstitions and stuff, but yeah, what I do is I mark my guard 7 times, so that's the only thing what I do.
Your pro tip for budding cricketers?
Be loyal, be happy, give you 100%, and don't try to prove anyone anything.
And enjoy the
You're the boss here.
Right. Fabulous, Gautam. Moving on to Rahul. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, super. A daily ritual that's become a part of your life.
Training.
Gautam? Okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
he answered it for me. So
Yes, okay. What does a typical day of Rahul look like?
Diet.
I don't think we need Rahul to comment. We already know through Gautam. Superb. Only done.
it's pretty. It's just super organized.
Wow. Okay. Give us a brief. Starting your day with waking up at whatever time.
I start my day by 6. I do some breathing, some yoga. I do some training. I do coaching, and then I try to get in some kind of sport every day. Apart from working, so I give about 5-6 hours of work a day, and the rest 4 hours are just for my activities like all of these. So yeah, I mean it's
Cooking.
organized every day.
Okay. A player you think have done exceptionally well in the recent years.
There are, I mean, plenty, but the last few years in Karnataka have been dominated, I think, by a few. So I think Baji has done well, Mithun has done recently really well, Mayank, KL, Karun. I think all of these guys are almost at the same level right now. So it's very hard to pick. I think it's a group of superb talent, and all of them have done well at different levels. So
Since you mentioned Bhaji is nobody else than Gautam, because I don't think I would know that. Bhaji is a synonymous name because he idealized Harbhajan Singh, which is why his name is now Bhaji for all of his close friends. Okay. Your best coach till date?
his name is Praveen. He coached me in school, so he's been my favorite.
Superb. A match you played that would remain special for you.
It's a league game that we played, and it was actually, irony enough, it was against Vultures. So I was playing for another team, and we beat them. So it was something that is in my
You
memory.
can go on Instagram. There is a video of that.
Great, we'll do that. Okay, rate the following players in terms of their form: Karun Nair, KL Rahul, Abhimanyu Mithun, and Gautam Krishnappa.
In their form right now. Oh, tough one.
Be careful. It is like a coffee with Karan.
Oh God, you're going to get me into a lot of problems here, I think.
Absolute
So
motive.
I think Gautam, Mithun, KL, Karun.
Okay. Your best student till date?
I don't know. I've not had a bad student till date.
Absolutely, but there has to be one best.
No, again, I know. I just stick to a Ramaya student for now.
Okay. Football arena, badminton arena, cricket coaching club, or venture that's closest to your heart?
Cricket coaching.
Okay. A gossip about Gautam that no one knows.
He's multi-talented. He plays all sports really well.
Correct.
He's a party
Very
animal.
rarely you see people talking something behind me.
At your residence?
That's his party hub. Yeah.
Okay, super. This has been a fantastic interview. Thank you, Gautam. Thank you, Rahul. Any last word before we end this call?
From what I have seen, the zeal and the passion what he has to help the budding cricketers, like it's about he pushes them to the limit. Like I've seen that because the last time I went to a badminton arena, like even though it was his student also, he was playing baddie together, but he made sure the student turned up to the next day. We played quite a bit, we played about 2.5 hours of good baddie, and he made sure that guy comes to the nets tomorrow and does what he is supposed to do. So it's like it's about what passion he carries and the way he's carrying himself. I would say all the best to him and his new ventures. Let him go places and let him have much more success in whatever he's doing. And next time get better in baddie so that you can beat me.
I'll see you later today.
So, thank you, Rahul. Thank you, Gautam, for a fabulous.
Chalo, take.
See you soon. Bye bye.